Emmanuel means to me God with us. And as I have been a part of the Emmanuel community, it feels like there is both a way in which we get to encounter God as we gather together as a community, but also that we get to experience and see God in one another.
Emmanuel means family to me. It really is like a family. I feel love.
We love coming to IPC because it's a safe, great place for my kids, and it's a great place for me to get a good message on Sunday mornings. I like that it has something for them and something for me.
It's not just about sort of learn about or have this experience with God, but it's about coming here, learning from one another. That actually helps us grow closer to God.
Emmanuel means, I get emotional about it because it means a lot to me. It means family.
The members care for each other, they support each other.
And even when we as a collective are having a hard time, going through a pandemic, we still pulled together and we still made each other feel loved and supported.
We're taught in the Bible that we should all love each other and take care of each other. And this place really embodies that.
There is something about Emmanuel that draws a really dedicated, concerned community that wants to make our community better.
And they're interested in the community, not just in the church, but the whole community of Tacoma.
The roots of Emmanuel Presbyterian Church go deep in the neighborhood and in the hearts of the congregation. Looking ahead to the Extend the Table Capital Campaign and beyond, it's helpful to reflect on how God has moved among us.
I've been coming to Emmanuel all of my life.
I've been coming to Emmanuel since I was 4 years old. It's just been a great place. It's family.
My grandparents started coming here in probably the 1930s or 40s, and so this has always been our home church.
I grew up at this church, and it's home.
I've been coming to IPC for over a dozen years.
I moved here in 2015, and I was in the middle of my graduate studies.
We were looking for a church in Tacoma, kind of church shopping, if you will, and we tried out a few churches. I brought my kids along because that's an important aspect for us, and we had come to IPC, I think, twice.
Our family has been coming to Emmanuel for 10 years now.
I identify as a lesbian, and so my experience with the church was not good. And so I was really kind of turned off the church. But I went to Pride, and Emmanuel had a booth advertising Kim Archer, a black lesbian musician who was going to be singing blues vespers. Now, I had just come from Alabama, so a black lesbian singing in a church that was being advertised it blew my mind.
And then after visiting a few other churches, I kind of sat my kids down and said, which church do you feel like would be best for our family? And my daughter immediately said, I want to go back to, Emmanuel. And I said, well, what did you like about it? And she thought about it for a minute, and then she said, I like the texture of it.
The thing that really drew us in was Theology on Tap, actually. We love the community gathering space, the space to ask questions and to have really insightful and intellectual conversations about faith.
For me, that was just like a really powerful statement on, there's something that she felt here that she couldn't quite describe, but she felt comfortable and she felt at home.
I came to the concert and loved it. Kim Archer was amazing, and went downstairs to get refreshments, a glass of wine, which also blew my mind that churches serve wine. And a woman and I got into a conversation, and she's like, what are you doing? I'm like, well, I'm writing my dissertation on Mary Magdalene. And she was so fascinated.
Emmanuel's an important part of my life. It's just the right combination of outreach and spirituality and creativity. It's just very meaningful for me.
Especially the adult education group, that they were so fascinated by my research that they made me feel so welcome and so valued. And it was so different from every other church experience I had ever had.
Emmanuel really is a family. And we've felt that since day one, and we feel it every day, and it keeps us always coming back and really excited to come back to see our friends.
There's just a warmth and a hospitality to this place that is unlike any other that I've ever been. And we find this perfect balance of, with great authenticity and candor and in just the right way, find this way to welcome one another. And that's one of the things that I love about this community the most.
The church building has been here for a long time. It stands as a lasting legacy of strengthened community and stimulating spiritual exploration. There's always a lot going on.
I'm involved in Emmanuel currently by singing in the choir. Being a musician, I just can't not have music.
This church has always loved music.
So the choir is really my people and my way to experience the joy of making music with others.
My mom absolutely loved the music here. That was one of the main reasons she enjoyed coming here.
One of the things that really drew me to the choir was all the international music. It's not your normal church choir music.
So I've been involved at IPC from early days just in the whole youth program, and I'm really glad to see how that's continuing and thriving under Tasha's leadership.
During Sunday worship, I get to gather with all of the children of the community to do Sunday school. And it really is a time where the kids get to sort of engage in worship, engage in community in a way that's at their level, that's age appropriate for them. One of the things that we're doing at youth group this fall as we sort of lean into this idea of extend the table is we're going to always leave a couple places open. So if we fill up every seat, we're going to set a few more seats. And the idea is that these seats represent those who are not yet invited in to come and experience what we have together, so that there's plenty of space for all.
We have this history of being this inclusive, thoughtful, trusted partner in the broader community, and I love that part of Emmanuel's history and think it continues to this day.
I appreciate this community for what they do in the world. We have been a part of the gala, we've been part of Pride every single year, and the congregation is just so supportive. And it's not just queer people, we're reaching out to immigrants. We're doing all these different social justice things. So it's not just sitting in a pew and pretending to be pious. We're going out and doing the work. And that's what I love about Emmanuel, is that we're doing more than just thoughts and prayers, right? We're doing action.
This community understands that we're not here to just sit on the sidelines. The call to follow Jesus is a call to serve the poor and the oppressed and the hurting and those who need healing.
The Extend the Table Building Abundant Community campaign honors the commitment of those who provided for our church over the years. It ensures a bright future for our congregation, our community, and vital ministry programs for years to come.
I love the extend the table metaphor because, one, it's not new to any of us.
It speaks to community, it speaks to hospitality, it speaks to family, it speaks to love.
We live our lives around these tables.
Is there a way to show love more than cooking a meal for someone and inviting them to sit down at your table with you and enjoy that meal?
It's also a powerful image in our Christian story, right? Jesus called people around a table.
We want everyone to come in and be a part of that. We want to keep continually adding more space to the table.
It evokes that call of Christ, which is a part of our Christian story here, to come around the table, to invite others to the table to be nourished.
This is our opportunity to renew our facilities for gathering, celebrating, worshiping, studying, and serving, for creating an even better space extending to everyone in our community.
I think it's our turn now, just as we've inherited a wonderful, beautiful facility in which to worship and enjoy each other, and I think we owe that to the next generation.
It's really important for me that Emmanuel is still going to be here in 20 or 50 or 100 years.
You know, being that I have a 5-year-old and an 8-year-old, I can envision them growing up in this church, doing youth group, graduating from high school and being sent off to college.
I want our daughter to be able to grow up in this space and be able to enjoy it the way we have.
We want it to be a place that's well maintained and well taken care of and invested in.
And I want to say to each other, to myself, and to the community around here that, like, this place matters. It's worth our investment. And I want to see it continuing to stand and to serve whoever is in this space 20 years from now, 30 years from now, 100 years from now. And the only way for that to happen is if we say it's important and I'm going to invest in it.
It's about more than the building. The building is a vehicle by which we can do our ministry, a place we can invite others in to utilize our space. And so I think it's really a crucial moment, both for us because of all the transitions we've been going through and the fact that we have a good mix of longtime people and new people who are excited to be here, but also in the larger culture of what's going on in the world right now. Churches that are thriving right now have a strong sense of who they are and where they're going. And I think a capital campaign is an opportunity for us to do that. So Emmanuel, let's extend the table together.
Let's extend the table.
Let's extend the table.
Let's extend the table together at Emmanuel.
It's time to extend the table.
Let's extend the table.
It's time to extend the table.